any better. As you can see, I deleted the first broadcast and I did it again. I saw all the comments in the chat room about the sound level being very low. So I'm just seeing if anybody's listening in can tell me uh, if it's sounding any better than what it was. All right. So anyway, so I'm going to do it a second time round now. So maybe my second performance will be better than my first performance. Right, first of all, can I just say thank you to everybody that was I met up with in the UK. I've got to say thank you to the Green Gables Nursing Home for all they did in allowing me to go and see me mum. I was so pleased about that. And as you saw, she was in fine fare at the moment with everything that's been going on. And once again, can I just say thank you to the nursing home for all they've done in protecting her and keeping her safe, as well as their other residents as well. So once again, thank you. Can I also say thank you to my brother Simon as well for everything that he's been doing. I've just had a merger. Sound is good. I'm sounding much better. Thank you for that, Bernard, and also Steve. Um, yeah, can I just say thank you to my brother Simon for everything that he and his wife Yolanda have been doing as well for my mum. It is greatly appreciated, and with everything that you're having to do as well, it's amazing how you manage to do everything that you have to do. So once again, thank you for that. Also, when I say a quick hello to my son Michael, I went up and saw him yesterday. Nice to catch up with him. I'd not seen him since God knows, since the beginning of the year at least, I think it was. And again, it was nice catching up with him and spending some time talking about stuff and just having a good time, you know. Right, so what's been going on then? Well, just to let you know about the flight back and stuff. After seeing my mum yesterday, I went up obviously to London to go see my son, and I've got to be honest, the journey up was surreal. Uh, Not that many people on the train from Margate up to. I've actually went up to St Pancras, got to St Pancras station, and St Pancras station normally a very busy terminus. Don't forget it's St Pancras International, so that's where you go if you want to get the Eurostar, go across to continental Europe. Um, but the station there again, really quiet. Not a lot of people about. Um, Very empty. A lot of shops closed, not opened. Just a few open. So businesses been hit really hard there. Not only was I at St Pancras, but I then took the tube over to Euston, and even going on the tube, my God, I've never seen the tube so quiet as well. Everybody masked up as you have to be. Lots of signage up around. You know, you can get fined £6,500 if you're not wearing a mask. And you're walking around on platforms or going, you know, across stations. You have to wear one in and out the stations. Most people, from what I could see, are wearing masks all the time, even out on the street. It becomes unusual actually seeing somebody without a mask. It's like that at the moment. But anyway, so I went over to Euston, met up with Michael at Euston. We then spent the afternoon in the Signal Box pub on the first floor of Euston Station. And to be honest, counting heads in there yesterday afternoon and talking to the staff, they had more staff working behind the bar with 11 people working in the kitchen and behind the bar than they did have customers in the door. And we counted about 8 customers at the time we were there. And we were there till well after 7:30 about at night, you know, because obviously Michael wanted to get back up to Luton, Leighton Buzzard, and didn't obviously want to get stuck in London. Again, 10:30 or 10 o'clock close in the pubs and stuff. So anyway, and again, Euston Station very quiet. I then went across to Victoria Station, and again Victoria again very quiet indeed. I have never seen Victoria Station so empty. And when I took the Gatwick Express down to Gatwick Airport, again, the train, I was only two of us in the carriage going down. The train obviously goes down to Brighton, and hardly anybody on the train at all. So, all very surreal. And even arriving at Gatwick Airport, hardly anybody in the airport at all. One thing you will notice if you do go by train and you arrive at Gatwick, that the South Terminal now is just shut, just closed. The Marks and Spencers that I used to love visiting, the Marks and Spencers to go and get me last Scotch egg or whatever, pork pie or whatever it was, closed. They closed the Marks and Spencers. Boots was open, but I don't think their food is as good as Marks and Spencers. Actually, that's my own personal opinion, anyway. But anyway, again, very, very dead, very quiet. You go over now, obviously, to the other building, the North Terminal on the shuttle, and that's where I spent the night. Basically, managed to get online. I had the arrival of my PDF form from Greece. That came through all no problem. And then I managed to print it off using one of those airport computers, you know, that you see knocking about, where you fill it full of money and then it's like using what do you call it, an old Windows program. It's just seemed so archaic. But the one thing was I could log into my email and then print off the actual form, although that did cost me about £6 all in all to be able to do that. I think that was the most expensive printout I think I've ever done. When you compare it to here, it's only about not even 10 cents, you know, to get it done here. But it was in colour. I suppose that was a bonus. But anyway, so what's been going on with the flight back? Well, the flight back was interesting. The flight was near enough full, which was a surprise. Didn't see many faces. I think I saw one face of a local, somebody that I recognised coming over. The rest all seemed to be tourists. But what was interesting, when we got off the aircraft and we were taken through into the arrivals hall to go through the police check, and then once you go through the police check, you then obviously go then through a medical check area, and you present your PDF form, and depending on the number that you've got, because a lot of people showed interest in the number that I had, you would then be deemed to be tested or not. Now, what I did notice, the test queue was absolutely humongously long. It was as long as what the immigration queue was, and very, very few people were being ushered straight through. I was thinking, oh God, I'm going to spend an hour now just waiting to go through the test. But no, they waved me through. I didn't have to join the queue. Although the one person I did recognise, I can't remember their name, they obviously had to wait to do the test. So again, it was quite interesting actually, that. So anyway, but I did wait a long time for me luggage. Probably waited for as long as for me luggage as I would have done for the test. So before it eventually came up from the hold. But all in all, yeah. Not only that, there was the flight that I was on from Gatwick. There was a couple of other TUI aircraft in as well. Plus there was another aircraft from an airline that I didn't recognise, and I can't remember the name of it, plus 2 private jets. So maybe we've got some celebrities here on the island, I don't know. But anyway, 2 private jets were in as well on the pan when I left. Anyway, so what's been happening here then? Now, the interesting thing is that today was the day that the new data on the COVID map was released. The big story at the moment at Zakynthos is everybody was surprised that Zakynthos is still in tier 3 at the moment. Now, I think that's a bit of a hangover from the summer. Our infection rate really at the moment hasn't been that bad on the island. I'm talking on the island, not in Greece in general. We've had very, very few cases. In fact, I think on the island, within the last month at least, I think we've had maybe 3 or 4 cases. However, we did have cases of people being infected who'd come from the island, gone to Scotland, gone to Wales, gone to England. You might remember we were the subject of some very harsh stories in the British media and the press, and we were virtually the plague island, etc., etc., of people who tested positive after coming back from their holiday. And I think that is probably the reason why we are still in tier 3 and we haven't been dropped to a lower tier. Now, interestingly, yesterday, these are the COVID results from today. Friday, the COVID numbers were as follows: 882 new cases and 15 deaths. That is actually a record at the moment for infection. So that means we've had 22,816 total cases since the pandemic started, and we've had 549 deaths. 90 people are in ICUs at the moment. Now, because of this rise in infection rates, the Prime Minister did a special announcement yesterday to say that he was going to be putting areas of Tier 3 and Tier 4, those are the two highest areas. We're in Tier 3, and the next step is to go to Tier 4, which is more draconian measures. However, the big thing at the moment is one of the measures, even though we're in Tier 3, is that as of tomorrow, there's going to be a curfew that starts at 12:30, running through till 5 a.m. in the morning. That's 12:30, obviously, at night, running through till 5 a.m. in the morning. And basically, because there's been an increase of infection among the youth, just the day before, 60% of the infections from them were from people aged between 18 to 39. The Prime Minister, Mr. Mitsotakis, has decided that he needs to basically lock down areas with a curfew. So unfortunately, from 12:30 at night until 5 a.m. in the morning, you are not allowed to be driving around or out and about. I'm not sure if you're not allowed to be out and about, but you definitely can't be driving around, okay, after that time. So that means technically, if you're out somewhere in your car, you've got to be back at your house by 12:30 at night. So again, everything shuts at midnight, and you've got till 12:30 to be back in your accommodation. Otherwise, if you're caught out and about, you will be done by the police. But no word as to what they'll do you if you are caught out and about. So that's the big new measure that's been implemented. Plus, as well, certain areas such as gymnasiums, cinemas, and that are now compulsorily going to close. And basically, it's just making life just that little bit harder. I don't know how the tourists are going to react to what's going on, but all that will be interesting to see what goes on. Another sad story, which somebody did actually inform me about, and I had actually been keeping an eye on this story, and there's actually been developments in that story, and especially with my mum at the moment in the nursing home. 41-year-old nursing home owner committed suicide on Wednesday morning. He shot himself initially because of an elderly woman and two of his employees had tested positive with the virus. The man had basically put a self-imposed lockdown of 65 days in his nursing home because he wanted all his residents to be safe. It turned out the man himself had actually tested positive as well. And he then obviously took his life. He left a 4-page suicide letter explaining his feelings on the situation. I think he felt he'd let everybody down, etc. He was obviously in a state of depression, and he took his own life. So my condolences to his family at this time. And again, this is the danger with everything that's going on. Is the fear factor has just gone. Is getting worse. And I must admit, a lot of the nursing homes, there's been quite a few scandals with nursing homes across Greece about what's gone on through lockdown, etc., etc. And I think, again, maybe that was added pressure to this man as well as what's been going on with the nursing homes across the country. Anyway, on a kind of a lighter side, okay, the appeals trial of the two men accused of robbing the mayor here on Zakynthos, that was supposed to have restarted yesterday. It seems that one of the defence lawyers for one of the two men who are trying to appeal their sentences, he didn't come to court yesterday because he had already other judicial commitments in Athens and had to be in court in Athens. So basically what's happened is the judge in that trial has now decided to adjourn it until the 11th of November and obviously restart proceedings from there. At the moment, there are still more witnesses who are waiting to be called. One of them is a local businessman whose wife died in mysterious circumstances in a fire. There's also police to be called as well in this case, and the intrigue in the case just seems to be running on and on and on, yeah, we'll see what happens there. So anyway, I'm going to have a quick look and see who's tuning in at the moment. I think I lost a few people from the first broadcast. Steve Hinkling says sound is good, pleased about that. Bernard Martin Coldwell over there in Brussels, he says sounding much better, thank you for that. Steve Hodgson says hi Ginge, glad to hear your mum is okay. Thanks for that, mate, I appreciate that. Jan Lawrence says good to hear you had a good visit, and that's the only comments I've got at the moment. But anyway, can I just say thank you to all those people who've been tuning in to what's been going on. What are we doing this weekend? Well, tonight Jane and I, we're going to pop down the road to our little local grill house. I'm going to go for some pancetta, which I'm really looking forward to. Having a little bit of Greek food after fish and chips yesterday, and Scotch egg yesterday as well. Oh, Signal Box, Euston Station, go try their Scotch eggs in black pudding. Absolutely awesome. One of the nicest Scotch eggs I've ever tasted. Right, that's it from me. I'll keep my ear to the ground. And once again, thanks for all the comments and the questions as well. Once again, for those people who arrived on the island, things are not as grim as what they are in the UK, to be quite honest. The UK at the moment, to me personally, just felt really grim, and I feel a lot happier here. The sun is shining. When we flew out this morning, it was wet, miserable and horrible, and here the sun is shining and it's a beautiful early evening at the moment, which is really nice. Okay, so even we've got these little restrictions that have come in now, you can still have a nice time and enjoy yourselves and recharge your batteries before you get back to the UK to what is effectively a grind over there at the moment. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll catch you later. You take care and have a great time wherever you are. Ta-ra.